And we are live for the 32nd episode of the Bronx Bomber Ballad podcast. I'm your host, Matt, Luz, Luigi, and tonight I'm with Alex.
Hello.
And I'm with G.
Yo,
Well, we're another podcast, another somber mood, another Yankee series loss. The Yankees just lost their third home series of the year. They've lost their first three home series. They've lost their first three series at home for the first time since 1982. Sad times. They're 6-9. Rough start to the season, but we're gonna dive into it. Talk about the games. Uh, some positives on the weekend, right? Such as CC returning. Um, give some updates on some guys who have been hurt. Hopefully, some return dates. But guys, how are we doing overall?
Um, you see, I normally would just say not great, but like Cece's back and was good on Saturday, so just kind of mediocre because of that.
I think it's hard to really be any better than that because CC being back might be the only legitimately good thing that happened this weekend.
Yeah, definitely the one big bright spot on the weekend. That Saturday game was just very clean overall. But man, let's just dive into each of the three games. Starting with Friday night, Yankees, White Sox, Giolito, as I like to call him, but his real name is Giolito, on the hill for the White Sox. J. Happ on the hill for the Yankees. They started off good for the Yanks, right? They were up, their bats were going, they were hitting, up 4-2 early on. Um, LeMahieu getting to production, Romine, Judge sack fly, Gardy getting another homer. He's got a little power streak going late, right? It's a 5-3 game in the going into the fifth inning, and man, J. Happ has just been so bad this year. He's had three awful starts. This was just another one of them. He allowed just Yonder Alonso was just ripping him. He didn't even last 5 innings. Game goes to the bullpen. Holder comes in and gives up a home run. Chad Green gives up two more home runs in the next inning. Final final score is 9-6, shortened game from rain. Yankees had a chance to really break it open in the bottom of the sixth, down one, bases loaded, in a friggin' hurricane. I don't know how that game wasn't stopped, but they couldn't come through. And yeah, Chad Green came in and was just throwing ducks, getting bombed. Jimenez for the White Sox gets his first two career home runs. That kid's going to be a monster, and the Yankees lose. Alex, what did you take away from this game other than frustration and wondering what the hell is wrong with Chad Green?
Um, you see, there really wasn't many takeaways other than that it was just really a really, really, really bad game overall for the Yankees. Like, the weather was not great. They had an early lead. They blew it. Tap was terrible. Holder came in, gave up the bomb to Jimenez. Green came in, gave up two bombs, like you said. It was your stereotypical bad game you just want to forget automatically once it's over.
I think the most annoying thing about a game like that is that it was like things that we didn't anticipate they would be they would have to deal with, right? Like J Happ is 36, so obviously you always have to consider that, I guess. But he was so good after he came over last year, at the deadline, that I feel like we didn't really anticipate him going from really, really good to this bad, even if it is only 3 or 4 starts. And the same thing with the bullpen, right? You'd be like, oh well, they were up, they needed to score some runs or hold it while they get back in the game, and they just can't. Chad Green might be the one that we want to unload it all on because he's been pretty consistently bad this year, but they've all not been good. And we anticipated basically all of them except maybe Luis Sessa to be, pretty good. And he's ironically enough been the best out of most of them.
Very ironic. Yeah, I understand the bullpen. A lot of times will take some time. The bats usually get going before the arms in baseball. Typically, that's how it works. But man, it really is upsetting to see just a guy like Chad Green. Because look, I know there's a lot of Chad Green detractors out there. A lot of people that just don't think Chad Green is a good relief pitcher. And look, I don't think Chad Green is nails. I don't think he's this incredible relief pitcher, but I do think he's really good, and I think he's a really good piece of this bullpen. And man, he allowed 3 home runs already this year. He's been really bad, and like, look, it's almost tough to put a whole lot of blame on him for Friday night because he was pitching in a monsoon. I mean, it was bad out there. That the rain was. I was shocked they didn't call that game sooner because you could see they were showing the dirt. They were showing the people in the stands. It was raining really hard, and it's not easy to pitch in that. And even the White Sox pitcher kept stepping off the mound in his at bat against Voit. So yeah, just very sloppy game, not well played. Um, just another game where the Yankees were up and they just ended up losing it. It's pretty much been almost all their losses here except for one. But let's go to the second game. No reason to dwell on that first game. Let's go to the one game that was actually a good game this series, huh? Saturday afternoon, CC making a season debut, and man, he was awesome. I mean, CC was just like it was almost tough to expect too much from him. Right, his first start of the year, he even said how nervous he was. But my God, 5 innings, 1 hit, no walks, no runs, 3 strikeouts. Didn't get the win because it was still a scoreless game when he left. But man, I mean, obviously he was 1 hit away from being perfect, but I mean, he was basically just flawless, better than anything you could have expected. And an interesting move by Boone in this game. Went with Herman in relief, and I mean, worked out really well, right? 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. He just continues to look great. He's 13 innings this year, only 3 hits, ERA in the ones. He's been awesome this year. Look, don't know how long it's going to keep up, but he's been really good. And look, the Yankees, they were playing some small ball in this game, right? They get a sack, run off a sack fly, run off a safety squeeze from Tyler Wade. Aaron Judge gets his shortest home run in his career, 335 feet. Higashioka had the sack fly, and then Wade had the sack fly, and the Yankees ended up winning this game 4-0. Britton came in, worked a clean inning. Chapman came in, worked a clean inning, was hitting triple digits on the radar. It was a really nice game. It was a really great game. Guys, I'll start with you, Alex. What do you like CC being back? I think that's something at the beginning of the year before the Yankees started really struggling that we kind of really didn't highly anticipate CC being back but I mean, what kind of impact can CC have with this team being back, especially at this point in the season?
No, CC being back is huge because he's such a leader in the clubhouse. Like, he's the second longest tenured Yankee at this point, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Gardner are the two, like, they're the leaders of the clubhouse now. They're the ones that all the young guys are going to go to. And the fact that he was, in Tampa, just rehabbing from the heart surgery for so long, it had to have an impact on the younger Yankees players who, last year would use CC as a mentor. So the fact that he's back and showing that he can still go out there and pitch really well is hopefully going to be a shot in the arm for the Yankees.
Yeah, I think. I mean, his numbers might not jump off the page anymore, but I just think his consistency is something that they could just lean on. And they, every player swears about his leadership, right? The way, he sticks up for his teammates. He gave up the money and hit, the guy in the Rays last year when he knew he was going to be tossed because he was sticking up for his teammates. Like, it's stuff like that. But I think even just, even if it's 5+ innings and giving up a few runs, like, just the reliability of, every 5 days, and maybe having guys like, new guys like Paxton in there, having a guy like CC who's been around for so long, maybe help him along in his adjustment period and help, just settle the rotation in general, because the Yankees desperately need some leadership and some stability right now.
Yeah, it was funny. Hap, after the game with CC, was doing his post game interview. Hap like was acting as a reporter, goes, "Yeah, Jay Happ right here. How are you locating your pitches so well? Painting the corner so well. Almost like a bit of humor, which I really like because I'm like imagine a guy like Sonny Gray trying to do that. He would never. He was terrified of the media. So
Oh
I kind
yeah.
of liked Happ doing that. Even it shows that he's human. Shows that he realizes he's sucking really bad right now and that he's been just awful.
Yeah,
It's
it's not like how, Bird last year said he was just happy to be here.
yeah,
It's Hap
exactly.
realizing it and just trying to
Uh-huh.
make light of it instead of just, you know,
Exactly.
basically ignoring it.
Exactly. How about that Judge home run? That cracked me up. Like I watched the highlight of that from the White Sox broadcast, and you could tell how annoyed the announcers were with that home run because it really did just look like a fly ball to right field,
My favorite
and
thing
just got
about
out there.
that
It's like, oh, just gone.
My favorite thing about that was on the Yes broadcast after they talked about how there is one stadium in
Mm-hmm.
baseball that's a home run in, and it's Yankee Stadium. Every
Yep.
other stadium that's not out.
Hey,
It's
look, we
funny.
don't call them Yankee Stadium cheapies for nothing, all right?
I mean, look, like it works both ways though, because how many times has one of our relief pitchers just given up like a 345-foot home run in
Literally,
the eighth inning to lose the game?
the home run that
It's
McCann hit off of Green in the first game
yeah.
of the series was
Hmm.
literally a
Yep.
Yankee Stadium cheap home
Just
run.
well, like it's one that once you've watched just so many Yankee games at Yankees, you just know like you'll see a fly ball going right, feel like, oh man, that's not
Mm-hmm.
hit that well, but it's probably getting out. Oh yeah, but a very clean. I like clean baseball games, right? I like games that are well played. There was only one error in this game, and it was by Tyler Wade, but he made a great defensive play at second. Like Andrew said in the last pod, guy's such a good defender. Really wish he could hit a baseball, but he can't. Um, yeah, and on to the game Sunday. Sunday, this was a game that once again started off very good, right? Um, Voigt gets the RBI double. Judge gets an RBI single in the third to score Mike Talkman. It's 2-0 Yanks, right? Tanaka's on the hill. He's been nails all year. We were feeling good about this game, and Tanaka ran into a bit of trouble in the fourth inning, and Tim Anderson, hit a grand slam. Guy's been he's been hot all year, and his average obviously he dipped below 500. He's still not hitting over 500, but he was still hot enough to send one out and put the White Sox up, and they never looked back. I mean, that game was pretty lifeless from the fourth inning on, to be honest, or the fifth inning on. Once the White Sox went up 5-2, the Yankees really did nothing. I only think they got like one hit in the last 4 or 5 innings. They lose 5-2. They lose the series. They've lost all three of their home series this year to the Orioles, Tigers, and White Sox.
They lost
Safe
five
to
of the
say,
last six.
safe to say that those three teams aren't going to be in the playoffs this year. You never know, but I think it's a pretty safe bet. And yeah, here we are, right? The Yankees are 6-9. Half their team is on the IL. Gary, it's now official. He's placed on a 10-day DL or IL with a left calf strain, or what was it? They said a small tear in his left calf.
That's
No, it's just a
basically,
strain.
well, yeah, I mean, that's what a strain is, but it's,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Like a extremely small tear. But
yeah.
anytime you hear tear in Yankees, you're just thinking like, oh man, like 10 months.
Tommy John
Like
surgery time.
yeah, it's just 30 months. You're saying.
Yeah.
Uh,
so,
He'll be back in 2024.
so can I ask the question again that I asked a couple weeks ago? What exactly did the Yankees do in spring training to get ready for the season?
I mean, it's not even. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just. I think it has so much to do with. You look at guys like Stanton and Hicks and even Severino, because Severino's pretty built himself. I think these guys are doing too much heavy lifting in the
Yeah.
off season, and they're just like, look, that's not baseball muscle. Like baseball muscle is flexible. It's light. It's not. You don't need these like big glamour muscles to play baseball. And I think guys like Stanton and Hicks are just doing too much heavy lifting and they swing a bat a few times in the season and they have a strain or they pulled something. It shouldn't be like that. Like
I
it's
mean,
just getting formed. You go on, G.
generally, yes, but like that was kind of like Stanton's like build anyway. But for a guy like Hicks, I feel like over the last couple of years, right, you see him lifting super heavy. Now his arms are like gigantic,
Mm-hmm.
like so. I think Stanton, that's kind of been his build and that's worked for him. But I think in a more general sense, that's pretty much true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just saying though, like with the team like the Yankees, that Forbes just came out and said they're worth 4.6 billion. I think they should not have this many injuries this early in the season. It's just inexcusable. Obviously, injuries are unavoidable. You're going to have some injuries, but not 13 guys in the IL. Not your starting catcher, your starting center fielder, your starting shortstop, your third baseman, your ace, your DH. It's like you're literally. It's at this point, it's literally half your team. Like you could say it's literally like give or take 50% of your team is injured right now.
I
And
think
that's why it's so hard to just complain and be like disgusted with this team being 6-9 because like what do you expect? What do you expect any team to do with half their team injured? Like I hate keep to bring up other teams, but like a team like the Cubs is below 500. They're pretty healthy. A team like the Red Sox is 6-11, pretty healthy. Like teams that are healthy are well below 500 who are usually in the playoffs. So the Yankees being this record, pulling guys out like Tyler Wade and Mike Tauchman and Higashioka, I mean, it's really not that surprising, even when they're playing shitty teams like the White Sox.
I think I mean about the injuries, it's definitely frustrating. Like I just think that I mean at a certain point, not that I'm trying to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but at a certain point you kind of just lose the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, it's just flukes. Like, it's just a bunch of guys with bad luck. Like having this much of your team goes down, like just I don't know, makes me concerned that something somewhere in the process is not being done correctly.
Absolutely. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, that game Sunday. Overall, the series recap. The Yankees. I said the White Sox had the worst ERA in baseball. The Yankees scored 12 runs in 3 games. To be fair, one of the games was they only had six opportunities, and they did score 6 runs in that game. But I mean, only scoring 6 runs in 2 games against the White Sox, even if you are rolling out, subpar lineups. I mean, they're not a good. It's like I'll give them like they have some like young promising hitters. Like their lineup is okay, but man, that pitching is awful. Like it really is. And the Yankees just Sunday they just couldn't. They made Rondon look like a friggin' Andy Pettit.
They also overall in the last 2 games of the series they only had 11 hits total.
Whew. Whew.
I think like it's easy to lean on the injuries, but I don't think it's a stretch at all to say like they should be playing better.
Oh no, definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
They like the injuries easily are probably the main source of their 6-9 record, but there's so many players on the team right now that should be playing a lot better than they are. Like just how we were saying, the bullpen. There's only one guy in the bullpen right now. Betances is the only one that's injured in the bullpen, and he's going to be out probably until the All-Star break
till
now,
Christmas.
But there's pretty much 2 guys in the bullpen if you don't count Herman that have pitched well so far this season, and that's Sessa and Ottavino. Everyone else has had some type of struggles, so that takes a toll on the team. Like they cannot hold a lead, they cannot go to the bullpen, which was considered one of the best of all time now, and that is also really, really contributed to their really, really bad, well, not really bad start, but just disappointing start of the season.
They're what do you call it? The 8 of 9 losses? They had the lead, so it leads the majors. I think they're tied with the Royals. So good company.
Good.
But
the Royals just swept the Indians though. So
you don't know. But here are the Yankees' loss. I'm just going to list the Yankees' losses, the scores of the Yankees' losses this year: 5-3, 7-5, 3-1, 2-1, 4-3, 6-3, 8-6, 9-6, 5-2. They've lost every game by 3 runs or less.
Every single one of those is a save situation.
Yeah, you kind of just look at that, and if they were getting blown out, most of these, if they were losing games 12-4 and 10, I would say, man, this team's not like really just not close. Like they're getting, but I mean they're losing close. Like every game they've lost has been a close game, and I really just like you. you have all these baseball nerds looking at every sort of analytic and every sort of trend. I mean, I bet you ask a lot of these guys, and they'll tell you, look, a team like the Yankees, they're losing a lot of close games. Half their team's hurt. Like they'll figure it out, right? Whereas a team like the Red Sox, that's the team you got to be more concerned about. Like we'll preview the 2-game set against the Red Sox in a little bit, but a team like that, I think they've had 2 quality starts in 16 or in 15 chances this year because they've had 2 bullpen days, so those don't count. But in 15 possible chances for a quality start, their starters have only had 2. I think Sales had 1 and Price had 1.
Yeah,
I mean,
Price
that's
pitched well the other day.
That's concerning,
Yeah.
That's something you look at and you go, your team's healthy and your pitchers are just getting bombed by these, pretty average teams for the most part. That's something to be concerned about. But I mean, look, a guy like Hicks, I know he might not be back until who knows when, but I think he might be the most important guy to get back because Gardner just can't play center field. He's still a good left fielder, but just really can't play center field.
He really does. He makes an adventure out of some stuff out there.
Yeah.
With Gardner in center, that then leads to Tauchman being in left for a while.
Let's start. I'm just gonna kick this off on that note. We're gonna have our biggest complaint of the weekend. Just overall, our biggest complaint. I'll start it off. Alex just mentioned him. I am so fucking sick of Mike Tauchman. Like, I am just so sick of having to watch Mike Tauchman. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing up there. Like, you watch his at-bats, and you're just like, dude, what's this guy doing?
Hey, he walked yesterday.
He'll just be swinging at, he'll be, way late on, a 93-mile-per-hour fastball down the middle. And you're just like, dude, this guy has, no approach, no anything. And, because he seems like a decent base runner. It seems like he has decent speed, but man, I'm so sick of watching this guy try to have an at bat. I just get please. I understand why he's out there. It's because Clint Frazier literally can't even catch a fly ball, and with CC on the mound, you can't have Clint out there. There's gonna be a lot of balls out there, so. I understand that, but oh my god, there has to be someone better in the Yankees farm system, or just somebody better than Mike Tauchman. I can't watch this guy hit anymore. Alex, what was your biggest complaint this weekend? I'm about to puke thinking about Mike Tauchman.
We touched on it a little bit, but my biggest complaint is the fact that the bullpen cannot hold a lead to save its life. And not even the bullpen, the rotation too. On Friday, they were up 4-1, and then Hap went out there and blew it and gave up a home run when they were up 5-3 to Yonder Alonso, who literally is only on the White Sox because they wanted to try and convince Machado to sign with them. And then yesterday, I can't really fault Tanaka too much because he's been pretty much the Yankees' best pitcher this year, but still. The Yankees were up 2-0. Tanaka was looking good, and then he gives up the grand slam to Anderson, and it was such a buzzkill. All these games, the Yankees they seem to always get the lead early on. It's third or fourth inning, they're up 1-2, 2-0. Third, fourth inning, and then every single game they blow the lead, and it's so frustrating to see this happen every single time that they play.
So I'm gonna go. I was thinking bullpen, but I'm just changing on the fly here. I'm gonna say generally my biggest complaint for the weekend is Aaron Boone's lineups, but more specifically, I'll say Aaron Judge continuing to be put in the second hole because he is, and he has been their best hitter, and he's easily the best hitter they have available to them now with all the injuries. Especially when you keep putting a guy like Brett Gardner, who doesn't, he's not what he used to be. Keep batting him leadoff, right? Whatever. It's not the best play. The best play you can put in that position. As opposed to a guy like DJ LeMahieu, who's batting over 400 or close to it this early. At this point in the season, he's a better on base guy. I know the analytics say that you could. Put your best hitter second and he gets more at bats, and that's wonderful. But when you're batting Gleyber Torres, cleanup when Judge is your most impactful and hitter most likely to do damage with one swing. At least bat him third, right? You have to come up with a more creative lineup because Judge has been good and he's not doing probably nearly as much damage as he could be doing.
Yeah, I really agree with that. Like, it just with Judge is like you said, the Judge is the Yankees' best player right now, and because of that, he needs to come up with a lot of guys on base so that he can drive them in. And with him coming up second, I think I mentioned this last pod. It's like Boone doesn't understand that the lineup flips around after the 9-hitter. Like every time Judge comes up after the first inning, he's going to be. It's like the hitters before him were, with the exception of yesterday's lineup. It's Talkman and Higashioka and Urshela and Gardner. Like those are the guys that are consistently.
Bird.
Oh yeah, and Wade.
Usually not down the bottom three, but
Yeah, those are the guys who are consistently the 8-9-1 hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And even yesterday, LeMahieu batted leadoff, but the 8-9 guys were Higashioka and Talkman. And those guys are not, more often than not, they're not going to get on base. So, in all likelihood, Judge will come up with at most one guy on base.
Yeah. Honestly, like the lineup, my problem with the Sunday lineup for the most part was the fact that like putting LeMahieu leadoff and like Gardner sixth, I don't think that was the right move because you could have used LeMahieu at like towards the bottom of your lineup on Sunday. I mean, the lineup was just a dead zone, like the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, there was just no hope. And if you kind of got to spread it out at that point. But overall, like I do agree that maybe like you shouldn't be committed to Judge in the 2-hole, especially like look if like Gardner's hitting leadoff and is hitting like let's say like 230, 240, getting on 350 OBP. I mean, Judge is a lot of time going to be hitting with nobody on. He's going to be getting a lot of solo shots. Where if you put Glaber in front of him or even put him at cleanup, who knows? It's just I don't know. I am somebody who likes Judge batting first or second. Like I've always wanted Judge to bat leadoff, and I'm kind of like giving up on that now. But I do agree that like Judge shouldn't be locked into the 2 spot.
I'm not a huge fan of it overall, but I'd be much more okay with it if everyone is healthy, right? Because then you'd have like Hicks leading off, Judge second, and then something like Gary and Stanton and Void and all whoever else. But Judge is just there, right? Like all that production is out of the lineup now, and it's just Judge is coming up, and maybe one guy is on base, and like it's just very. I think like I appreciate Boone trying to be like stay the course and stability and whatever, but like it's almost to like a fault at this point because you're not putting your most impactful hitter in a position to do any damage at all.
I do think Boone like hasn't really. I'm not going to say like I hate saying like he's done a great job managing these last 2 weeks, but I don't think he's really mismanaged at all these last 2 series. It's been more the case of the guys on the field haven't been performing. And that like we understand that a lot of the team is hurt, but the guys that are out there, especially the high profile bullpen guys, just aren't performing. Another bonus complaint by me, Greg Bird's just this guy's awful. I mean, he's literally just looking for walks at this point. I mean, he's not even like taking like healthy hacks up there anymore. It's really tough to watch. Can we just package him and Tyler Wade in a trade for like just whoever, just something? I'm really sick of both of them. And Talkman. Package Talkman in there. Just
what a disappointing package. Well, that's a really depressing trade package.
I mean, I don't even care. They can send us back a new ping pong table. Just for anything. I mean, really, it's just a shame because, Bird, I think like with Chris Davis getting his first hits of the year against the Red Sox this past weekend, I just saw so many stats being brought up like about how Greg Bird now, like Chris Davis now has more RBIs than Greg Bird, and it just kind of just puts it in perspective. Like, yeah, dude, Greg Bird is sucked. He had like that home run on opening day, and his like last at bat when he was like 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, and yeah, he just literally hasn't done shit since then. He's not playing a good defensive first base either. So
I feel bad because he has had a bunch of really good at bats, and then he just like swings at a pitch right down the middle and gives it all up right away.
Yeah. Well, anything else we want to talk about before we look ahead to the Red Sox?
I feel
Or
like I say this a lot, but like, let's just move on and forget the
yeah,
series.
yeah, we that's literally like we should just have a sound clip of that. And be like, well, let's just play it. Okay, moving on. Let's go over our hot takes though, real quick. They were pretty bad. Um, let's see. This one was pretty good. I think this was Alex who said CC would have 7 innings pitched, 1 run allowed. 5 innings pitched, no runs allowed. So you were close. Okay.
That was close.
You also said Judge would hit 5 home runs. You were 4 off. Um,
Could be worse.
Someone said Britton will return to form
That
in
was
his one
Andrew.
performance. Okay, he kind of did. Small sample size, but you got to give
Andrew
it to him.
did say he would pitch twice though and do well.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
yeah, he's just wrong.
invalidated. I said the Yankees bullpen wouldn't give up a run the entire series. I was 2/3 of the way right because Saturday and Sunday they were spotless, but Friday, Holder and Green allowed 3 home runs, and like right away, Holder came in, and I was like, "Well, there goes my prediction. There's the bullpen just giving up a run right away." But the bullpen was good Saturday and Sunday. I think that was all of them. But
G
what was
said that
the?
Greg Bird
Yeah,
would be the series
oh
MVP.
man, Jesus Christ! Yeah, for the White Sox.
He rocked a sweet 0 for 6.
Oh man. Oh. Well,
Also, Luigi, I'm pretty sure you said the Yankees would sweep.
no, I said the Yankees would get swept.
Yeah, sure
That
you
almost
did.
happened.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, let's go on to the Reds. Yeah, Yankees Red Sox. Right? Aren't we excited about that? Two great teams, and you look at the records, and they're both six. They're
They
both
are
below 500.
they are combined 12-20.
Yeah. The Red Sox 6-11 start the year. Yankees 6-9. The two pitching matchups for Tuesday and Wednesday games will be Chris Sale on the mound for the Red Sox, who is 0-3 with a 9 ERA so far this season, and James Paxton for the Yankees, sporting a fresh 6 ERA. And then Wednesday night it will be former Yankee great Nasty Nate Eovaldi versus J.A. Happ. So some real barn burners in there. We got uh, man, like why couldn't like Tanaka? I know Tanaka just pitched yesterday, but like we really could have used one of our pitchers that I don't know is actually pitching well to start one of these two games. That would have been really nice, but that
No
doesn't look like
one,
it's gonna happen.
none of the starting pitchers in the series have an ERA below like
Yeah,
7.
like Paxton. No, Paxton has the lowest ERA with a 6 ERA. Yeah, he's sitting pretty, but the Red Sox I think they just split with the Orioles. Like they're still not really playing well. Their offense has been all right. Like it's obviously not great so far, but it's really been their pitching. So obviously we saw with the White Sox, their worst ERA in baseball, and the Yankees really couldn't do much. And hopefully they'll get up for the Red Sox series, but there's no damn guarantees. This team's really banged up, and like like I said in the last pod, they just got to take it one game at a time. Like every win you got to friggin' cherish at this point because it's going to be like they just got to get through April. Like not with a terrible record, right? Like I said, just at or around 500. And look, this week, even after the Red Sox, you have the Royals, who, yes, did just sweep the Indians, but a 4-game set against the Royals is a set that you probably want to take at least 3. Like the Yankees should look at this week, right? These 6 games and say, let's go 4-2. Right, like let's go 4-2, get back on track, have a good week, piece 4 wins together any way we can, and then move on and just keep. Then I think they have like their West Coast road trip starts next week, so it's going to be some late 10 o'clock games. So we'll get to watch the Yankees lose at like 1:30 on a Wednesday night. That'll be really fun.
That'll be fantastic.
The bullpen will be blowing games at approximately midnight. So yeah, guys, how are we feeling going into this series against the vaunted defending champs who are 5 games below 500?
So, my big take on the Red Sox is their worst start is literally the best possible thing the Yankees could have right now. Just
Mm-hmm.
because the Red Sox
Oh,
last year
imagine if they
started.
were good, man. Like imagine if they were like 13-5
The
right
Red
now,
Sox
dude.
last year started 17-2, and just think
Decent.
about the Yankees were 9-9 around that time. So just think about how last year, everyone was exploding. Just thinking about how angry they were with the Red Sox doing so well. So think about right now, if the Red Sox, instead of being 6-11, they were, I don't know, 15-2. It would be so much worse, and we would just be dead inside, even more than we already am. But yeah, I don't feel terrible going into this series. The only thing that I really have a little bit of anxiety about is the fact that like Sale and Eovaldi have both been really bad this year, but they also have had decent careers against the Yankees. Eovaldi, especially last year, just the Yankees could not even come close to hitting him. So it would not surprise me if both pitchers just came out and saw this series as like their start to get back on track.
If you need to break a slump, just call the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm fully expecting Chris Sale to just dominate the Yankees. Like, he's been crap, and he's going to just come out and throw like 7 one-run innings.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing 98 again.
Yeah, all of a sudden his arm strength comes back. And the thing is with Sale, like, the Yankees last year, at least, they would always put their lineup would always be primarily righties. So, what exactly is their lineup going to look like tomorrow? Like
Mike Tauchman batting second.
I'm gonna say it's probably going to look a little bit like the lineup yesterday, where you have LeMahieu, Judge, Torres, Voit, Frazier as the top 5, which are all righties.
They really don't have a choice. I mean, all their flexibility is gone with the injuries.
Exactly. But, and then the only other righties they have are Urshela, Higashioka, and Romine.
Urshela's been pretty decent. So
I fully expect Urshela to be playing tomorrow.
Shout out to Urshela. You just got to value a guy that, he's made, I think he's made one error so far, but overall he's been so solid defensively. He's gotten some nice hits, has some nice at-bats. I think his on-base percentage is over 500 in his last 8 or 9 games. He's been really good.
He's just a guy that no one has any... What were you saying, G?
Sorry. Against Chris Sale, I know lefty-righty comes into consideration, but I'd much rather have Gio Urshela in the lineup as opposed to Tyler Wade or Tauchman or
even Greg Tauchman or Wade.
I'd rather you in the lineup than Tauchman or Wade.
Man, you don't know how I can hit.
That's a good point. G. Tauchman.
Good old Stevie Tauchman.
Oh, man. So anything else about the Red Sox, about the Yankees, about life? Shout out Tiger Woods made yesterday okay. The Yankee loss really set in for me today because I was just so happy yesterday because of Tiger. Then I woke up today and kind of looked at the standings. I'm like, damn, you fucking lost to the White Sox, man. what's going on here?
No, because Tim Anderson hit the grand slam right as Tiger won. So everyone,
whatever. And then an hour later, fucking
everyone's phone. We were all talking about Tiger Woods, and then the notification came across my phone, that he hit the grand slam, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Skip,
Yeah. I wish I could have just never opened that notification. Yeah. But here we are. I guess that'll do it for the show tonight. Yankees, Red Sox next 2 days. Probably be back in this recording maybe Wednesday night, maybe before the game Thursday. Who knows? The Yankees are still injured. We're still injured. But is it going to get better? I don't know. Probably not, because from the sounds of it, no one's close to cutting back. I mean, they shouldn't even call it the 10-day DL. It's the freaking it should be the 30 and the 60-day DL.
Well, they don't. They don't call it the 10-day DL anymore. It's the 10-day IL.
That'll be it. That's our show. We'll see you guys next time. That's for Luigi, for Alex, for G, for the DL. This is the Dollar About podcast. We'll see you guys next time. It should still be called